righty. So apparently Josh had a gigantic crash out on his latest Mad at the Internet. Now, we already know, like, on his previous one, he blamed Gator for this vast conspiracy, you know, which must have gone years back, that, like, people were splintering off from the Kiwi farms after his whole thing about how he, like, called CPS on a family to try and get a 15-year-old to move in with him when he was 19. Yeah, that's a thing. That happened. If you're tuning in late, if you didn't catch that stuff.
That actually sounds crazier the second time I've heard it.
Hang on. Graf says, I'll tell you what, if one of your users sends you $74.77 and post $74.77, I will get on your stream right now. That totals $148.88. Wow. Cheap at twice the price, team. Well, there you go, team. You heard it here. If you cough up $150, well, the stream won't be ending at midnight, that's for sure, because the Graph Man will come on.
The Graph Man?
Nah, he's only burning his half of the money. Alrighty. Now, I don't know why this fucking faggot has me blocked. I have never interacted with Zero Dozer. But, so we were looking at this one yesterday. But there was a little bit more to it. So last night, I think it was around about last night, Josh got mad at the internet. He got extremely drunk, which is funny because he said he wouldn't do that.
You know, I've noticed that people that slam their penis in the car door tend to be habitual liars.
Indeed. So his Ricada moment, he said he'd never drink on stream after watching it destroy Nick. He drank on this past stream and got so drunk he made a violent call to action against Hollywood and Hollow Live and Saba. He's spiraling hard and showing his fans he's no different than any other lolcal he's covered. It's like Pirate Software being comically unaware to stop shitting his pants over Stop Killing Games, pull up.
Or not stealing breast milk out of the fridge at Blizzard.
This guy clearly doesn't have a real life outside of the internet. This is what gets him in the end. And he projects that onto others that do. No family, no friends, nothing but internet people that are waiting to turn on him the moment someone bigger than him cracks a joke at his expense that he can't handle, which at this point is all of them. It's a pathetic existence. Now, I thought there was a little bit more to the thing. I thought someone had posted a clip. Maybe they removed it.
Were you just talking about Josh or the fat man?
It's funny. It's funny how it applies to several people all at the same time now, isn't it?
I know. It just does.
So yeah, there we go. Oh, I said, okay. Schizo Poster has a long time sort of thing about like he's doing the bit. Schizo. Let's have a look at Schizo Poster's hard drive. Anyone defending Saba is extremely sus, as the kids say. Oh, there you go, Siege McCall. That Saba shit is sus as fuck. All right, let's investigate Siege McCall's hard drive too. Because I'm sorry, we've coined the term. It's the synthetic man rule. People who crash out really hard about about like anime VTubers, that whole thing. They always end up having some like a Tartarian-sized skeletons in their closet.
Vouch hates VTubers and anime. So does Destiny.
And both
And
of
just
both of
be
them have
off.
literally like multiple times over several years on their streams, like had in-depth intellectual discussions about the age of consent.
Yeah. And then of course they'll do that, but then they'll call you a pedophile as if they think that's an insult because they know it is, because they know it's fucking wrong.
Okay,
All the while trying to play.
Siege Mikhail literally doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. This Saba shit is sus as fuck though, and isn't Galgora an obese yenta from England? They're the same person.
What the fuck is this guy on?
Galgora is like literally Saba. She like retired from the company she was working for and went as an indie. And due to and what they always do is they always rebrand. They always like take on a new persona. So you were literally talking about the same person. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah, Gura caused Venti to crash out as well. Well, no, twice now, I guess. I mean, Venti crashed out about Gura several times, and then she tried to join in on the crash out about Saba. But, speaking of people crashing out then, and Brittany Venti, remember how she said that she was going to be retiring from the internet? You know, like she's doing the whole thing, like, you know, I got what I wanted. I got what I wanted. I got what I wanted out of my internet career. Like, thanks, simps. I'm retiring. You'll never hear from me again. That lasted a week. Oh, there's a diaper ERP thread on Kiwi Farms. Marvelous.
I haven't been on that website since that man told me that my suggestion for him to use the .st domain name for it was getting him in hot water because he was getting complaints from the registrar about the content on it. But I'd like to point out that it's been the most resilient one out of all of them.
Right. So, you mean, are you telling me that you tried to help Josh Moon and he like fucking spazzed out?
I was trying to help him for months before he decided to stop using posts, and I mean that's fine. That's his prerogative. I don't really care. I do care when there's a bunch of like drama niggers that try to like make something out of nothing that just randomly show up from time to time to like make comments, which is when I know that he's like made a comment about posts or something about me or whatever. It hasn't happened in a long time, thankfully. But anyway, I recently heard about this shit that's going on, and I'm out of the loop, so I don't know. And I would like to be explained to, like I'm like 6 years old.
Okay.
Because I don't follow any of this drama nigger shit, it's really funny.
Ironically enough, that seems to be the target range for some of these people. All right. So, yes, you said you wanted to get back to the topic at hand?
Yeah, I want to know whatever the hell is going on with Josh, because like I normally don't care, but this seems like something that is maybe a long time coming. It's more like a somebody who's been pious their entire life to find out that they're like a Satanist or something like that. It's along those lines.
Well,
so it's interesting to me.
From what I've gathered, this is actually like we're talking about like actual known things, like things that were known, but they just weren't getting a lot of publicity.
Yeah.
So you know him? You've spoken to him before? I think.
At length, yeah, for many months.
A while ago.
Yeah. I think the end of it was like early 2023, something like that.
All right, because you are aware that on Kiwi Farms, like every other like internet notable, you know, there's at least 100-page thread on you where they just like do circular referencing to accuse you of everything under the sun.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the only sort of attitude to have. We've seen what happens to people who get upset and then go and create an account and then go in and try and argue in their own thread.
Yeah, I genuinely don't care.
That's what Josh actually wants people to do. Like, it just feeds him content. Like, go into your own thread and try and fight all the tards. Go and make Josh $500 on his next Mad at the Internet stream. The only winning move is not to play. But okay, so man, so the first time I knew that like Jirish was kind of fucked up was someone went and dug up some old posts that he'd made on a forum that I initially thought was the Something Awful forums because they were using like the same format. And I was looking at the screenshots and like Josh had this like really long, and I mean like 10 paragraphs long, bizarre fantasy about basically, you know, like nobody asked and then somebody, you know, type thing. Josh made a thread where he outlined his murder fantasy for his mother. And she never loved me. I didn't feel loved as a child. She was mean to me. And she shows more love to her pet cats than she does to me, even now. Of course, he was living at home at the time. And so we went into this long, rambling fantasy about, like, tying his mother up, ritualistically murdering both her cats in front of her and then killing her. Because she deserves it. Now, he wrote that around about the time he was 19 or 20, which is interesting. Just hold that in your mind. He was about 19, 20 when he did this edgelord post about murdering his mother. Because very soon after that, he moved out. And I don't know whether it was like in an apartment or in a shared house or whatever. That's not relevant. He went on this forum called, what's it called? Oh, okay, it's here. Okay. Something called Blockland Forum. Ever heard of that?
No. I didn't really do a lot of like computer gaming from like the time I was like maybe 10 to 12 until like my late 20s.
Yeah. Well, and Roblox was still around in 2000.
Yeah, I've never touched it.
Yeah, no, but I'm just thinking like Roblox was a thing in 2011 because Roblox has actually been around for a shit long time. And I should like Blockland Forum is like one of those sort of like off-site forums where people can have like where like Roblox enthusiasts can have discussions like the sort of discussions that they wouldn't have on the official forums or whatever. Anyway, Noel decided to volunteer this long story where he tried to groom two underage girls, one of which was a 15-year-old. He was 19 at the time. And he called CPS on the family in an attempt to get the 15-year-old girl to move in with him when he was 19. Now, okay. Noel does not deny that it was him who wrote this post. He denies that she was 15. He argues that she was 17, which, you know, makes a huge difference. Calling CPS on a family to lure a girl out to move into your place. So even if you take Noel's word for it, like, you know, that's not okay.
Yeah.
And okay, and
so
then
is that what this all stems from? It's just that post. Like, I'm not trying to downplay it.
It doesn't.
Like,
it doesn't.
Is this what started it?
No, it's actually part of an enormous body of work. So there are splinter forums from the Kiwi farms, and these splinter forums form because they're like people who are like, well, obviously anyone who like gets invested in Kiwi farms is a fucking freak. But they're freakazoids who develop an animus against Noel. Now, of course, any sort of internet personality ends up developing a core of people who have an animus against him due to human nature and collapsing society and internet disease. You know, you have a little core of spastic haters. I have a little core of spastic haters. But
mine's pretty large, actually. But yeah, I get it.
But
Yeah.
they're all very little people.
Yeah.
But anyway, so over the years, like, because Noel occasionally has these sort of things. I don't know whether he's a frequent crash out enjoyer. Like, this is where the whole like erectile dysfunction thing came from. Remember, my rivalry with Noel stemmed from him trying to get me to provide him free content by like spilling the beans on Ethan and Ralph, and I said, I'm not going on your show, I'm not joining your forums, and I sent him the you slammed your penis in the car door thing. Well, the reason I sent him the you slammed your penis in the car door thing was he'd once again gone and interacted with his community, and you know exactly the sort of people who would be that community, and decided to overshare with them in excruciating detail the nature of how he had some form of erectile dysfunction.
Okay.
Now, I've been corrected on this take because, like, it's quick and easy to say he has erectile dysfunction, and I've been well actually'd on that. Well, actually, Noel describes that he's capable of having an erection, but he doesn't actually have any sexual pleasure and can't come. So I want to thank the 2 or 3 people over the years who have sent me that exact correction. Well, actually, me on that. Rand, stop lying and saying he's got erectile dysfunction. He can get an erection. He just can't feel anything. And, he can't rub the fireman and have it spit in his eye. But, so he has a history of oversharing things. And these splinter groups from Kiwi Farms, like, they've held on to these deets for years. But, well, just like a lot of things, like you could have the most hot burning evidence in the world, but what if no one pays any fucking attention to you, right? So these groups existed for years, and no one was paying any attention. There's this thing called Lounge 96. Now, this is where the hurtcore shit comes from. So, look, you got, like, I got the receipts here. Well, at least, like, I'm linking to people who have the receipts, so you can read through all the fucking bizarre shit that Noel occasionally posts. But here's the one about hurtcore. Oh, wait, once again, this is another thing you can go and check out. I think the quick screenshots are around here. Fucking Twitter! I was doing this earlier I did this earlier this week, like covering this shit, but fuck me. Hang on, maybe let's go back to that link. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I think we got the screenshots here. All right, so here's the... Oh, no. Oh, no, there's just so much shit to, like, fucking drown in all this crap. There's the Calling Child Protective Services fucking thing. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so this Lounge 96 is one of these splinter groups where they do what these sort of people do, is like a mutual hatred of a... internet person. But I don't know, there's some shit that I'm not going to read. I just wanted the bit with the screenshots about hurtcore. Let me check my bookie marks. I did this on Thursday. I did do a show on this. I'm not full of shit. I got the VOD. I'm going to scroll the fucking way down to Thursday. Did I have it here? But, okay, so he ended up having this... I'll just paraphrase then again. He had this long-form discussion on some forums like MRIC chat or whatever. Oh, God, there's that anxiety pen thing I couldn't find before. The vaped. What was it? Basically, he went into this long-form description about how he'd just been like going, like descending further and further into more hardcore pornography until he'd gone
That's usually how it works, yeah.
Yeah. But he's having this candid fucking discussion where he talks like, oh yeah, no, I even went through CSAM and now I'm into hurtcore. And I'm like, what the fuck is hurtcore? Wait, oh, I know why I can't find it. This was on Post. Someone brought it up on Post. All right, let me check my thing here. Because I posted a link to the Josh Moon thing. Yeah, here. So I said, about Josh. This may surprise some of you, but not all of you. Now, come on, where is it? Where's the hurtcore thing? Yeah. Thank you, Beard from GameLiberty.club. So this is a conversation Josh Knoll had. I drench my sorrows in masturbation so often that it becomes too hard to get off on heterosexual intercourse for the sole purpose of reproduction. Oh, sorry, I should have read the time to jerk off to some Nico Shota. You know what Shota is?
Yeah, that's boy love.
Yes.
That's fucking gross, man.
Very little boys. We're not talking about like Anki. We're not talking about like, well-built middle-aged men. This is still Noel. I swear to God, I want to kill and rape as many people as I can before getting gunned down by SWAT. That needs to be my life inspiration. I'm gay for Robo Noob. I'm sorry, but he's adorable. Absolutely yummy. Are you going to rape him too? Maybe. How old is he? 17. If he's 18 or turning 18 soon, he's my new stocking. Birthday? Here we go.
The world has gotten too damn perverted, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, well, there's a reason it's trending in that direction. God, I feel so guilty about the CP. I wish it didn't turn me on to see that shit. It's not just regular child porn either. It's hurtcore now. I just like to see children suffer. Now, this is, of course, someone who wrote a 10-paragraph thing about how his mother needs to be murdered because she wasn't nice enough to him as a kid in his own eyes. But he would like to see other children suffer. 10 paragraphs.
Oh. Still fucked.
Yeah, so this is basically the big bomb. This is the thing that's had Josh spiraling out and crashing out on his Mad on the Internet show for a week. Because these splinter groups, like, it's like, oh no, how can I sow without reaping? I mean, Reddit, is it normal to reap what you sow? He's been out here doing this shit for years. People have been documenting it for years, and now he's actually getting some attention on it. And he's crashing out. And he's saying, like, Gator did this conspiracy. Gator was not involved in creating, like, 4 different fucking splinter Kiwi Farm splinters. He's just... He's
a lot cooler than he was, though.
Yeah, he's just disseminating. He's literally doing the pay no attention to the man behind the curtain shit. You got to use a voice changer when you say those quotes, bro. That's fine. You clip me out of context and I'll just direct you right to here. Exactly what I was reading out. Go ahead. Like I'd say to like certain small-souled bug men who are furiously listening at the moment, go ahead and clip me out of context. Make sure that thread blows up real big, and then I'll come along and drop this link. Get as much attention on it as possible. I drench my sorrows in masturbation. Oh, no, that's the one. Okay, that's right. The fourth one is just like the top. Yeah. So that's pretty much the one that we already saw. I don't know why they clipped it in that order. But there you go. That's the real bombshell. Like people already knew about the murdering my mother's cats and then murdering my mother thing. You know, the CPS call to a 15-year-old's family. He says, "No, she was 17, I swear." But there you go. I can't even. Maybe I should use a voice changer for this. Yeah. Joshua Connor Moon is saying, "I can't even get off to regular child porn anymore. I just want to see children suffer. I enjoy hurtcore, a thing I didn't even know existed." And he spent a week crashing out on it for it finally bubbling up and people actually paying attention to it. So there you go. There's your Cliff Notes catch up on that man. Glad I finally fucking remembered that the reason I couldn't find it was because of someone replying to me on post.
I wish more people spent time on post. It's such a nice website, you know. I wish they also contributed to it so it could stick around.
Well, here we are right here. Post is the place that's got the kill shot for this one.
Ah, well.
Well, you wanted to hear it, man. Now I got to hear you. Now you got to give a mini dissertation on how you feel about it.
As somebody that's been in relationships with people that have had addictions, not this extreme, I would say, drug addictions or maybe alcohol. The only thing that I have to say to that is I've seen somebody chase the same high that they've been after since the first time, and that's exactly what that is. But to act pious as though you are not at fault for doing the same thing that he and his users chastise people for is very funny to me. I'm not laughing externally, but I it's not something that I would expect from somebody like that, given that I've talked to him and I know more or less kind of how he ticks. I feel bad for somebody that, well, if he didn't run that website, I might feel bad for him. But
well, if he didn't run that website, that'd just be like some random fucking weirdo, like saying some sick shit. There's a get out of here, you fucking weirdo. But no, he wants, you know, he wants to be a notable, and congratulations, you have been noticed.
Yeah, it's I don't have much to add to that. I'm sure I was under the impression there was more to it than just this. Like I thought that there was like some like hours long.
I believe there is more. There is more to this. Look, because like we're not done yet. Like I believe that there is going to be more. Like I haven't even read. Like I'm aware that these splinter. I am now aware that these splinter groups exist, and they've been like archiving things. But of course, like being Kiwi farmers, you know, even if they are on a splinter group, you know, when it, like it's like a gem buried in a pile of sewage. You know what I mean? Like it's like 5% good shit, 95% shit. So like I'm sure that there are people who have been like pouring through the shit to go and find the good stuff. I'm sure there's more. I mean, I just know, like this should be enough to ruin anybody. You got the mother fantasization, the CPS call to get a 15-year-old girl in your house, and fucking talking about how, like, I can't even jork at the CP anymore. I need to see children being hurt more than regular CP does. That should be enough to ruin anybody. But
Yeah, it should. The world's fucked.
yeah, but I have no doubt. I have no doubt that there are people who have already dug through this and already assembled like some sort of killer package, but they're scared of reprisal. Noel has used, Joshua Connor Moon has used Kiwi Farms to like dox, harass, and ruin people in the past.
So why not just pass it off to a neutral third party or the media?
Well, that's the interesting thing. Like, you want to talk about a heat seeker? Well, Josh Moon like literally like talked shit to a national government once. The whole thing with New Zealand when he hosted the manifesto and the video of the shooting. So you want to talk about like flying real fucking close to the sun, like actually pissing off intelligence agencies. So they're like under normal circumstances, it'd be like, oh, okay, like some fucking guy said some fucked up shit. Who cares? Ho hum. But this is Josh Moon. People are scared of Josh Moon. Actually, big people on the internet are afraid of being attacked by Kiwi Farms.
I was gonna say I don't think anybody on the planet is scared of Josh. I think it's his user base.
Yeah, they're scared of the spider army.
Yeah, the spider. Yeah. Yeah.
And an interesting thing that like some people were relaying back to me because I don't watch it was the biggest fucking drama seekers on earth, the Keno Casino, who regularly use Kiwi Farms as a resource, had nothing to say. Have not mentioned a thing about this in the last week. Now, as for Ralph, I don't pay attention to Ralph. I've just been informed that he's once again like catfished a young woman off the internet. So he's busy at the moment trying to explain why it's okay for him to have a 19-year-old girlfriend. Oh, that's what I heard. I haven't looked into it.
What 19-year-old woman would be dumb enough to fuck him? Wait, I just answered my question.
Yeah, you just answered your question.
Fucking Christ, man.
So yeah, that's the state of play. This is out here. I haven't seen any big people pick it up yet. I'd like to see some big people pick it up because, like, the reason it's getting attention. Well, actually, no, a couple of these people are like relatively big, like Trigger Point and that. It has been getting some traction, but Josh is shooting at some big people with big fan audiences. Remember, this literally came out. The reason people started paying attention to this stuff, which has been out there for years, is because he is continuing his weird crusade against VTubers. And he had a big crash out after Gura did a rebrand debut as Saba. And he was like making a big deal out of that. And this came on the heels of someone. See, initially I thought this was unrelated. Some individual, which makes me think that some people knew this was coming down the pipeline, because I started getting attacked for just bringing it up. Right, so we're back here. Some guy I've never fucking heard of. Some guy called Hancock, decided to run away from the internet when they got community noted for doing anyone who watches VTubers is a pedophile. They got community noted. This user is a groomer and has a history of posting child sexual. What did we think the E was? Because some people are scared to say CSAM, child sexual abuse material. So there's some alternate definition, CSEM. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This guy got zapped for doing or if you like VTubers, you're a pedophile. And I brought this one up, and some certain people went after me doing a deliberate misinterpretation. I said, I'm not a huge fan of lolly. That's common parlance in the English, is it not? If you don't really like something, you describe it as I'm not a huge fan of. So they took that as like, oh, okay, so you're an 8 out of 10 fan out of lolly? Because a huge fan of lolly would be 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And it turned out that those people who were going after me have aligned themselves with Kiwi Farms. Interesting. So I do wonder if they knew something was coming down the pike and they needed to defend the mummy spider, which is Josh Moon. For those who are not familiar with the analogy, you know, that whole thing about like the mummy spider hatches her eggs, the little baby spiders eat the mummy spider. That's such a common thing with Josh, how his own audience turns on him so much. I call him the mummy spider. So I was just wondering if they knew something I didn't when I posted this, because the very next fucking day, the whole thing about Josh Moon drops. I find that interesting. I find the timing convenient. And those people have been fucking with me all this week. Well, they're always fucking with me, but I mean, they ramped up the fucking with me.
Keep in mind, guys, if you're not aware, Josh is more mad at Rand over the penis and the car door vid than he is at Ralph or Mr. Medicare.
I'll tell you why. Because it reminds me of a certain phenomena I've observed. Josh couldn't do anything about... Josh couldn't really do anything about Keffels. Of course, it turned out... Well, he complained about Keffels, but he didn't even mention the one who was actually really hitting him and getting and pushing his side onto the dark web for a while, which was some Asian tranny whose name I always fucking forget until I'm reminded.
Liz Fong.
Liz Fong.
Liz Fong, yeah.
As far as I'm aware, Noel barely, if ever, mentioned Liz Fong. He'd always be talking about Keffels. So this whole thing about
it's a buzzword.
Yeah.
It became a buzzword.
Yeah, but you think also he'd like, you know, with the opportunity presented, he'd like to go into detail about like how, oh, it's Liz Fong that's pushing me off the internet instead of saying it's Keffels, it's Keffels, it's Keffels. Keffels doesn't know how to program. Keffels has like zero technical ability, or as far as I'm aware, any other ability either. But Liz Fong is an actual scary, dangerous hacker that will find out where you live. You know that whole thing that, like, you know, Josh intimidates people with? I'll find you. Liz Fong actually finds people. And Josh was scared and never fucking spoke about her. It's interesting, isn't it? The coincidence. But, yeah, that's it. And so, like, I think, like, Josh going after me harder than he went after Keffels, even when he was getting, like, fucked with on the dark web, had to go to the dark web, couldn't get him an ISP to keep his thing up, his show on YouTube, like, got hit with a strike, and he was still fucking spurging out about little fish like me and Gator. In fact, right now, he's blaming all of this on Gator. You know, Gator who runs like Gator who has a real job in real life and like runs a podcast once a week. Yeah, big scary Gator. I think he goes after people like me for the same reason that PPP, when he had that whole fucking thing when he was pretending to be an evangelist, was going after small starting out streamers because he'd declared a war on all streamers or some fucking retarded shit like that. You go after small people because you can actually fuck with them. Noel couldn't do anything about Liz Fong, so he never even mentioned his name. But he went after me. Because I can actually be fucked with. I'm running on pretty tight margins here. Getting fucked with actually fucks me up. He can't do anything against people like that. So he's a coward and a bully. And a liar. I'm saying he constantly brings the Asian tranny up. Not when I was paying attention to it. Also, why the fuck are you watching this fucking guy anyway, Threve? Anyway. Any questions?
No.
You satisfied with that?
I'm satisfied with that.
All right, goodbye. Hit stop streaming button.
Yeah, I just don't have anything. Like, I kind of expected better, but I didn't at the same time. So, like...
Better as in, like, you thought there'd be more. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like
No. What I'm talking of his character. I expected... Oh. I didn't expect him to be better or worse. I didn't really have an opinion on him. So, like, I'm not, like, torn either way, whether he's, like... Well, he's definitely not a good person.
Dude,
I believe that's, like, maybe a necessary evil.
Dude, the guy's saying he can't get off to regular porn. He can't get off to regular material of children being raped. He has to. He can only get off now to children being tortured.
I think that's absolutely disgusting. But it's also 9 years ago. Maybe he had some kind of, like, intervention since then, and he doesn't.
No,
you guys make fun of him saying
there's obviously been no intervention with him. He is still a gigantic bucket of shit. And that's the thing. There is no, like, the recidivism rate of pedophiles is 100%. Don't you notice this? Like, whenever they let a pedo out of prison, he's going back in a year later. If that. Like, there's no fixing these people. No one needs the bullet.
A lot of people need a bullet.
He actively tried to lure an underage girl into a sexual relationship with him at 19, and he's not got any better since. His track record is consistent. Gigantic piece of shit. And now, because I'm just a small little guy who can be fucked with, I'm sure the small-souled bug men listening will probably try and put together a little clip to send to Josh at the next Mad on the internet. We'll see what happens. But I think Josh's ability to hurt people is diminished, and I'd like some of the big players who are fucking scared of him at the moment to realize that they should no longer be scared of him and fucking put out what they've got.
Thank you for watching this clip by Colonel J. This is the King of Bull here. Remember to like and subscribe. Juice!